Hello everybody, this is McGitgud, and today I'm going to be doing the episode 0 of the Rimworld beta starting with nothing, I should say. But I just want to go over the mods that I'm going to be using, kind of explain them a little bit. So if you want to skip this episode, you can. There's not going to be any actual gameplay, just talking about the mods and stuff. I am going to be releasing episode 1 with this episode, so look for that here in the next little bit. Rendering sometimes takes a while to do. So yeah, we're just going to jump into it. The first one we've got is HugsLib, and HugsLib is just kind of a catch-all. It helps the other mods share stuff. So you'll always want to have HugsLib and Jex tools. They're just like, these are basically your frameworks. So just have them underneath core and you should be fine. Miscellaneous core is just another framework thing. It adds groups you can make, but I've never messed with that, and it adds brain pals. But if you get like miscellaneous robots or something like that, you'll want to put this in. I just always put it in just in case, because I'd rather have it not need it than need to not have it. Next up is facial stuff. It just gives the pawns more facial stuff. I mean, as the mod suggests, just makes it look a little bit more alive, you know? If you want to look in more detail, I'm not going to go over everything, but I'll kind of scroll down and you can pause and read it if you'd like. I'll do that with the rest of them as well. Psychology. Psychology adds a lot of different stuff into the background. There's new mental breaks. There's new traits, I believe. Colonists deal with each other in a different way. So it's, I mean, you can see this. Kinsey scale. I actually don't know what the Kinsey scale is. Instead of being inadvertently assigned to from 0 to 6. Okay. I don't know what that means. It adds mayors. Okay, that was part of this. I didn't know that. It also adds anxiety, which can if something traumatic happens to your pawn, then they'll get anxiety, and then you have to constantly treat that. I did find out on my own, though, if you put in a brain pal, then that fixes the anxiety. I guess because you replace the brain. Next up is animal logic. This one adds some stuff. A lot of the birds will now lay eggs that didn't before. Oh, a lot of the animals. Is that what this one? Try and find beds. No, I think that's the overhaul that does that. We'll get to that one. This one lets you rename them, gives you pet types, just a couple different things. Some of the stuff is optional. If it's not on by default, I'm not turning it on. Work tab is by Fluffy. This one lets you hit Control and click, I believe. Oh, that would be a little bit fast, sorry. Again, you can pause whenever you like to read this if you're interested, but you can hit Control click and it just adds different kinds of well, not different kinds. It categorizes the jobs out into smaller jobs. So like construction, if you have someone who's bad at construction and you don't want them building like your tables and stuff, you can tell them to just deconstruct and nothing else. So they will only deconstruct. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of situational, and I probably won't use it a whole lot, but it's nice to have for just in case. Colony Manager, another one by Fluffy. I'm gonna have a lot of Fluffy stuff because I really like the stuff that Fluffy makes. A lot of good mods there. But Colony Manager adds a little manager station to it, to the game, so you can put like hunting, forestry, livestock. The livestock is mostly what I'm getting this for. So you can set, like, say you have 2 muffalos you start out with, a male and a female. You can say, well, I only want 2 females and 2 males. So if they breed and they have kids, and then it passes the surplus that you made, then they'll slaughter the excess ones, and you can pick to like not slaughter bonded and not slaughter pregnant and that kind of stuff. And I'll get more into that as we get to that. Stuffed floors just lets us make more stuff out of floors, and I think this one helps help some of the other mods out too. Architect Sense is another framework thing. It doesn't really do anything. Oh, it does nothing on its own. So yeah, it's just for other mods to work. So another framework thing. Medical tab adds a medical tab. We've had this one before. It just lets you see stuff a little bit better. Fluffy breakdowns. This one is probably my favorite by Fluffy, just because it makes things so nice. Normally, when things break down, it like triggers it because you've got too many components, and then you have to use a component in order to repair the thing. This has like a meter of maintenance, and now your construction workers will run around in the morning and maintenance everything. And if that maintenance falls below 0 or hits 0, I guess, then it breaks. Then you have to use a component on it. So if you have a lot of mechanical things and only one person doing construction, then you're going to have a lot of breakdowns. But if you can manage everything all right, you should be fine. Research Pal just gives us a new research screen, and this will kind of help us be able to sort everything out with the mods. So it's pretty good. I like that one. Humanoid Alien Race. This is another framework mod. Just lets you be able to make different brain stopping different races. And the reason I've got this one is because we're getting androids, and I'm pretty sure that one is necessary for this mod to work. So this one just adds androids and droids. We'll get those a little bit later, but we can basically make colonists. The androids are basically full colonists, and the droids are they're not full colonists. I mean, they can do everything, but they don't have like mood debuffs or pluses or anything like that. And then after a while, they break down. So, but you can make them self-destruct, which can be useful. This one is a facial stuff pack for the android, so it'll just have the same things as the regular colonists. Allow Tool. It's kind of a quality of life mod. Lets you haul urgently, lets you select everything on the map. I like this one just for the haul urgently, and you can finish things off, which is nice. Mod Switch, I would recommend it just in general. If you're even thinking about modding, I would get Mod Switch, just because this makes things so easy. If you've got this installed and you want to play vanilla, you can start a vanilla game. Just install this in like Hugslib and Jack's Tools, and then go back to your modded game. Whenever you click on it, it'll be like, oh, these are all the mods you had. Do you want to load them? And you hit yes, and it just loads them all for you. So it's pretty nice. A Dog Said lets us get animal biotics. So we can, if any of our animals get damaged, we can fix them up with the proper bionic parts. Medieval Times, this is the one we had before. It just lets us have some stuff for when we hit the medieval era. Call of Cthulhu, I've got a bunch of those mods on here as well. This one adds industrial, and if you're doing any of the Call of Cthulhu stuff, you're going to want to have the Industrial Age mod, because sanity loss is a debuff in the Call of Cthulhu stuff, and the typewriter brings your sanity back to, I don't know if it's normal, but it brings it manageable again. So that's a good one to have. Cosmic Horrors adds some new kinds of monsters from Call of Cthulhu. So, and there's monster raids and that kind of stuff. So that'll be interesting. Then we've got Arachnophobia, because we gotta have the giant spiders so I can avenge Dilly. Dinosauria adds dinosaurs to the game. 32 new species. I don't know if that's all of them, but and then you can see all these features. There's just there's a lot of different dinosaurs, and then we've got a patch for a dog set, so we can brain stopping again. We can put bionics in the dinosaurs. Animal Collab Project adds a whole bunch of different animals to the game. Then this is a patch for that as well, so we can then put bionics on those. Camera Plus just lets us zoom into the world really close, so you can get details. Miscellaneous Training adds shooting targets and martial arts dummies, just so you can train up your shooting or your hand-to-hand combat. It helps. They'll do it as a joy activity. The only thing you really gotta watch out for is the shooting range, because sometimes colonists like to walk over here to like repair something, and then they're shooting, and then you get injuries. It's not a good time. Doormats help keep rooms cleaner, so I got those. Fuses keep the zit from happening. So one fuse works for 3 batteries. I think it breaks it afterwards, and you have to repair it with a component, but that's a fair trade. I don't know. I think it's for the first level. I think the second level is just fine. I don't know, though. Centralized climate control makes it to where we can have air conditioning. It'll help us cool the whole colony once we get to that point. Expanded prosthetics and organ engineering. We can make a whole bunch of new prosthetics and organs. Pretty self-explanatory. Hand Me That Brick lets your haulers haul the materials they need to the construction project, so your construction workers are free to just run over there and build everything. Fences and Floors adds fences and floors adds fences and floors. Again, self-explanatory. Stack Merger, another one by Fluffy. I don't know why it's down here, but everything works right, so it's fine. This one adds a low priority haul order to where they'll just like take everything and merge the stacks. So this one's a nice one to have to keep things tidy. Glitter Tech adds another tech level. It's just glitter tech. It's the advanced stuff, and it adds the Orion Company to the game, and they've got a bunch of glitter tech weapons. Straight Jackets, another Call of Cthulhu mod. This one will keep us. We can put these straight jackets on colonists, and will prevent them from having mental breaks or anything like that. I think we might, we'll do this if someone's really low in their mood and they're in danger of breaking, and we might just put them on prisoners while we recruit them. So I don't think they can eat that way. We might have to feed them, but that way, if there's a prison break, they can't grab weapons or anything like that. I think they're slowed, so they can, if they want out of the straight jackets, they can join us. Factions for the Call of the Cthulhu stuff, just so there's more factions on the map. Cults, so we'll be able to make a cult. I like this part of I like this part of the Call of Cthulhu stuff, so I figured I'd throw the other stuff on here too. We got Dub's Bad Hygiene again. This one was updated with beta 18, so now there's like water towers and some other stuff, and I don't think we have to have a river, but we're gonna get one anyway. Genetic Rim, I've actually never played with this. I did a test and made sure that everything worked, and when I say that, I put it down and it didn't break the game, so I assume it works. We'll see how this does, but I know you can make hybrid animals. You can extract genomes. I think you can put them into your colonists too. So I'm gonna have to look into this a little bit more when we get to that point. But this is like late game, so it'll be a nice little project to just mess with. So that's mostly why I got it. We're gonna scroll down a little bit more. Just a hair mod. Vanilla Animals Overhaul. This is what I was talking about. That makes the more animals lay eggs. I'm sorry, my brain just keeps stopping as I'm trying to go through. Pets will follow masters. Chinchillas. It just makes a bunch of. It overhauls the animals. There's different herds now. I think it makes certain animals able to carry stuff that weren't able to carry before, just based on their size. Then I think more things can get wool and that kind of stuff. So it's a pretty good one. I like having all the animals and stuff. So vegetable garden fabrics. This one should be with the rest of the vegetable garden stuff, but it's not a big deal. It still works. But you can just make fabrics out of stuff that you can grow more so. So that's pretty cool. I haven't really messed with that one too much either. Tech advancing is going to be an important one. This just lets us advance to the next tech level once certain criteria are met. And the reason why this is important is because when you're recruiting people, the difference between your tech levels is a big factor. So if you're tribal and you're trying to recruit someone who's like a spacer, then it's going to be, you're going to have like a 99% chance. It's like trying to recruit a tribal person if you're a spacer, just reversed. So as we research stuff, we'll be able to recruit people better because our tech will actually advance. Straw floors, I don't think I actually need this one. I think the stuffed floor works with it, but I got it anyway, so it'll be fine. But it just makes it to where we can do straw floors for like a barn or something. Weapon tech just adds more research for weapons. Simple sidearms, this one will let us carry like a primary and secondary weapon, so we can have a ranged and a melee. I thought I would get this because that's pretty useful. I hate when you start shooting something and then it comes up and punches you in the face, so you stop shooting it and you hit them with your gun instead. So now we can just switch to a weapon and attack them. Stock traders, this one just traders are stocked more, and I think it's balanced because they have more silver, but they've got pretty much the same stock as normal. And orbital traders have more stock but the same amount of silver, so I think that's alright. Show hat under hair, or put that backwards. Show hair with hats, or hide all hats. So that's just so you can still see their hair. I got the hair mod, so I might as well get that. More security just adds a couple different turrets and stuff. Wild cultivation. I think this makes it to where we can cultivate more plants, or this makes plants grow out in the wild. I don't remember which, and I'm too lazy to read at the moment, but I will look at it later and figure it out. I'm pretty sure it makes more things grow in the wild. More random factions adds more random factions. More sculptures adds more sculptures. More linkables adds more linkables. The linkables are things that help production. So if you put some of this stuff, like this is a microanalyzer? Is that right? I think that's what it's called. I can't remember now. Now that I need to, I can't remember. But that goes with the research, and then these will go with like production stuff, and it just gives you a little boost towards production. Matching embrasures makes embrasures that match the different kinds of material, and embrasures are something that you can shoot through, so you can make little rooms where you can shoot out, and they're more defended. Expanded roofing, this is another one I haven't played with before, but it adds transparent roofing and solar roofing, so we can get we can make indoor grow areas just with solar roofs, and then we can also make solar powered roofing so we can get more power. I haven't played with this one. I'm interested to see how it works. Colored mood bars. This one just kind of shows you it color coordinates how it is, so that's pretty. I like that. All the kibble lets you make more kibble, just so it's a little easier to feed the animals. I like getting a lot of animals, so food becomes a problem pretty quickly because I'm a hoarder. Fertile fields. It was a toss-up between this one and the tilled soil, but I figured I'd get this one because this one seems a little bit more balanced, because you can terraform. So you have to take materials from other places and you can move it, and you can turn like sand into dirt, and then dirt into fertile dirt, and then the fertile dirt into tilled dirt. I believe is how it works. And then your growing is just better. But with the tilled soil mod, you just hit tilled soil and then you go over your plants and you've got like 200% grow rate. It's really good, but I just, for this series, I figured I would do the fertile fields. On my own games, I use tilled soil all the time. I don't care. It's for me to have fun. Consolidated traits just adds a bunch of new traits. This is all those traits, so kind of let you go through there. Might have missed a couple, but oh god, yeah, should be compatible with everything. And then I've got more trait slots right underneath that, and that's self-explanatory. It just adds more trait slots. I think normally you can have like 4. Zen Garden just adds a whole bunch of decorative stuff. You can make like these little water borders, which I really like. I think it gives you the marriage spot arc right there. It gives you a lot of nice things to customize with, so I like getting this mod as well. Path avoidance, because sometimes the colonists are dumb and want to take really weird paths. So this is a nice mod to have. I think I had this one the last playthrough. Faction discoveries. This lets you discover new factions if you add them. Realistic rooms lowers the room size it needs to be for it to be a good one. I'm still going to do the 7x7 because I'm pretty sure that is how it's supposed to be, 7x7. And that's like a normal room. So I think if I do it like this, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good, it's spacious. I don't know if it'll be spacious, but it might give them a little buff. Cheaper components, just makes components, I think they're 10 steel with this. I don't know how many they are normally. I might not even use this because normally by the time I can even get this, I've got components coming out of my ears. But repair bench lets us repair things in the game. Various spaceship chunks adds different kinds of spaceship chunks that yield different resources. More furniture adds more furniture. Feed the colonists. This will let you cook meals in bulk, so that's nice. So your cook doesn't have to be cooking them one at a time constantly. Meal radius makes them look further for a table, so they don't get the eat without a table debuff. Ugh, you got me. This one will make the social fights stop before they beat each other to death, which is always good. Moody gives us like an at-a-glance look at everything that's going on in the colony, and we'll look at that later on in the series. But I like this one. Once we hit like 20 colonists, I'll probably stop using this because 20 colonists gets to like right here, and that's when the Moody thing starts covering people up, and that's probably when I'll stop using it. More trade ships. Trade ships will just come more often, just so we can trade. It just seems like they don't come very often without this. Visible pants, so you can see all the pants. Dirt paths, so you can make dirt paths. Zin's XP fixer. This just makes it to where your XP doesn't drain. So normally, if you hit like 20, and then you don't do that skill for an amount of time, I don't know how long it is. I never really noticed it. I just got it because I didn't realize that was a thing, and I wanted to stop it. But if you're at 20, then eventually it'll go back to 19, and I don't know how far it will fall, but this we don't have to worry about it. Fahrenheit and Celsius, because I don't know how to read Celsius, and some of you might not know how to either. Some of you might not know how to read Fahrenheit and only know Celsius, so there we go. We got it to where everybody will be happy, and we can see how bad I'm doing at keeping the colony cool. Efficient utilities changes the amount of power used for some of this stuff, so it's pretty good. Rim fridges, this will let us make refrigerators in places so we can store food there instead of just in the big freezer. Refugee stats, so if someone comes running and is like, help, help, I can see if I want to help them. If they're pyromaniac, I'm not going to help them. That's a rule I'm saying right now. Smooth walls lets you smooth rock walls, and you can also etch them to make art and that kind of stuff. It's pretty cool. I haven't played around with it too much, but I've seen it be used, so I thought I'd get it. Basic bridges, so we can build over water. We are going to be getting a map with some water on it, just so we can properly do sewage and that kind of stuff. I think you can do it without the water once you get like the sewage station. I can't think of what it's called now. I'll think of it later. But it's just like the big sewage thing. It's later on in the research. Rimworld Search Agency. This one is super useful. It lets you like search in your menus and stuff like that. So where we've got so many mods, we've got so many items, we can't find something, we want to put it in the stockpile, we can just be like, oh, where's our herbal medicine? And we type that in and it'll show us all the places herbal medicine are in our little bar. So it's really nice. Haul to stack. This just makes them haul things to stacks instead of just walking in and dropping it on the floor and then running away. Which might make the stack merger useless, but I'd rather have it, you know, and not worry about it. While you're up is a really good mod. If someone's out and you tell them to do something and there's something close by, and they're assigned to hauling, they'll grab it and they'll haul it back to the base and then start doing the other thing. So it's pretty good. Rimsenal adds a whole bunch of different weapons and factions, and Security Pack does the same thing, Enhanced Vanilla does the same thing, Federation, Feral, and then this is the Rim Hair for that. So I really like the Rimsenal mod set too. There's a lot of interesting weapons in there, and the factions are pretty interesting. Federation I hate. Federation's very difficult for me to fight, because these guns right here set you on fire. I think this is... Federation might be what I'm thinking of. I could be wrong. No, these burn you. There's a faction out there that has weapons that just set you on fire, and I'm not a big fan of that. Therapy mod. This one makes it to where your one of your colonists you can set up as a therapist. Well, more than them. You can set colonists up to be therapists. Build a therapy couch. They'll run over, they'll lay down and like, I got problems, and then the therapist will come over and talk to them, and it'll help them work through some of those negative debuffs. So it's pretty good. It adds another element to the game. I like that. More mechanoids adds more mechanoids. Again, self-explanatory, but crawlers, scullywags, flamebots, mammoths, and assaulters. Scullywags I don't really like. I mean, I like them. They're good. I don't like them in the fact that I have to fight them because they can just run up to your doors and pop them open, and then everything else can run in there. But more mechanoids, excellent mod. I really like it. Harrowed Light just adds another faction. It goes with the Call of Cthulhu stuff, I believe. Miniaturization just lets me uninstall and reinstall different workstations, that kind of stuff. Trading spot just lets you set down where traders will come, so that's good for managing. Here's the rest of the vegetable garden stuff. Vegetable garden just adds a bunch of different kinds of vegetables you can grow, and changes the look for some of the crops as well. So it's pretty cool. Lets us do some different things with the growing, and then more vegetables, which is just an expansion to that, and then garden drinks, which is another expansion to that. We can make different kinds of wines, and I think we can make soda, but I haven't figured out how to do that. Like, it says soda garden. I don't know. I've gotten it before. Like, it's fallen off of people, but I don't know how to make it. This one is the Gourmet Garden. It just lets us make more kinds of food, and here are all of those. Tofu is a really good thing to be able to make, because we can make tofu to supplement our meat stock supply, so we don't have to worry about going out and hunting and people getting hurt. Smoke leaf industry. This lets us make a whole bunch of stuff out of smoke leaf. We can make fuel, we can make medicines, we can make foods, we can do all sorts of crazy stuff with this, and I just thought I would get in here so we have another side project. A lot of this stuff is just going to be like side projects for later on, and I'm okay with that. You know, I like messing around with the mods and stuff. Hospitality, another one of the mods I like a lot. I think I had this in the last one too, but You can people will come and visit your colony, and you can set up a housing area for them, and they'll come over here. They'll do their joy, that kind of stuff. You'll come and talk to them, and then when they leave, their faction reputation goes up with you based on their stay. And you can also recruit people through this too. So it's an easier way to get, well, I wouldn't say easier. It can be an easier way to get colonists. And there is a cost for recruiting people. It costs faction goodwill. So if you say, let's say you have 5 goodwill with somebody, and if you recruit their colonists, it's going to minus 15. You'll have negative 10 once you've recruited that person. So that's something to keep in mind. You don't want to push a faction into hostility because you recruited somebody. More floors. That's more floors. We've had this one before. Extended woodworking adds different variants of wood to the game. So now oak wood is oak wood, poplar wood is poplar wood, and that kind of stuff. And you can also paint the woods too. So that's kind of neat. More customization. And then stack XXL. This just makes your stack sizes larger. And I'll probably keep this at ×2. I don't want to go too crazy with this. Just I think I'll do ×2. I'll have to look at it. But we just want it to where if we have the refrigerators set to priority and we move food over there, we want the food to be able to go there once it's filled, go back to the freezer, so it's not all just in the fridge. We don't want 10,000 simple meals in a fridge, you know? That's everything. I've tested this out. I don't get any errors whenever I load up the game, and everything seems to work pretty well. So thank you so much for watching, guys. If you got any questions about any of the mods, I don't know if I can answer them, but I'll try. I've got limited knowledge on this. I'm not an expert on these at all, by any means. I've played with them, and I know the basic functionality of a bunch of these, but I can't tell you the deep inner workings of any of this stuff. I am glad they exist, though. So thank you guys so much for watching. Episode 1 will be out here shortly, if it's not already. And I hope you enjoy the series. I'm really excited about it. Yeah. See ya!